On day 2 of the Global Entrepreneurship Summit 2017, Ivanka Trump spoke about the female participation in workforce. She was speaking at the summit plenary session, which was on the issue of innovations in workforce development and skills training. She also talked about the importance of public-private participation for women and their empowerment.
Huge victory, especially in this very, very important sector.
It's sometimes very hard just to walk away.
We just have to fundamentally change things. It's starting to happen in the corporate world, albeit typically at larger companies, not smaller companies. It's a lot harder in terms of flexibility. Traditionally for people in tech and in finance, making more money, not for women working at the lower income end of the spectrum. So I think that's where government policy comes in, and we need to start thinking about ways to support the modern workforce and the modern reality of dual income households. I think technology is a great driver of entrepreneurship because a lot of women are leaving and saying this doesn't work for me, and it's emboldening them to go out on their own. Technology is reducing barriers to starting new businesses. It's creating flexibility around schedule. So you can work just as many hours or more, but maybe you work some of them after you've put your child to sleep from your living room or from your kitchen table. So I think technology offers tremendous opportunities to women. So much of what was said was deeply inspiring, and I agree with wholeheartedly. So one thing I would just like to throw out there is these aren't women's issues. We're half the population. So we have to just start thinking about them as critical issues, not women's issues. So the role of strong male voices in this conversation, to Sherry's point, is very, very important. Also, going back to something else you said, Sherry, I think one of the reasons we're seeing an explosion of women's entrepreneurship is because traditional workplaces often haven't worked for us.
Joining me live on the program is our senior business correspondent, Sumit Chaturvedi. Sumit, I believe you have an innovator and an entrepreneur with you. Who would like to tell us more about that?
Well, we are joined by Tian Sherrill. She is one of US-based entrepreneurs and the culture ambassador in the city of New Orleans. She's here. You heard Ivanka Trump speaking. What has inspired you from there, and how do you think it's important for you to be here?
I believe that she's inspirational across the board. Being a woman, she has established a platform that is very inspiring to me as a business owner, and I'm certain all of the women that are here. She has told us about how she understands the deficit and how there's a need for women to take a stand, and she understands why she needs to be present and be a part of this. So I think that her saying that has established a lot of encouragement and has probably sparked a lot of investors to understand why women need to have their own business.
And you are based in US. What problems do people face when it comes to entrepreneurship? What kind of business are you in?
I have a transportation service that I just started this year. It's a service that's Uber-like for children. And right now I know the need is safety for kids to be transported from one place to another. My service is not a traditional form of transportation where it's like a van service. It's more of a, if you need us, you can call us type of service. So you can identify what your need is through the app, download the app, choose your ride. You can have multiple kids picked up, and we would be the one to come and get them. And it's a safe service, it's secure. The website is secure as long as, and the app is as well. The transport is trackable. So the parents get the patience, I guess the comfort of knowing that your child is moving or not moving, and you don't have to bring them to dance or gymnastics. You can call us to do it.
All right, and the theme is Women First, Prosperity for All. How do you connect that to Ivanka Trump when she's here, and how she's a brand ambassador for all of you out there back in the US?
I believe that her presence has pretty much set the platform for others who did not understand the need for women to be in business to see that, she's behind us, and she's a woman, she's a very successful woman, and she has worked very, very hard. I think her work ethic speaks for herself, and I believe that she's inspiring to all women. So overall, her saying what she's saying now and putting on this summit and hosting it, it definitely creates a lot of opportunity and wealth for women.
And India is putting a lot of emphasis on startup culture. How do you see that from India's point of view?
As far as startup culture, I am not so familiar with how the Indian culture is for startup, but I do know that based on what I've heard from people who are here, I believe that the country is very supportive. So, and I think that the more business that comes here, the more people will want to be here. So I think that it's definitely opportunity, though.
And how many of the delegates are from US like you, and what are their thoughts?
Oh gosh, it's lots. I believe we all share the same thoughts. As far as a delegate from the United States, we always want to be a part of business abroad. I believe that as long as we're welcomed, we're going to go. And India is such a beautiful place to be, and you all are so friendly.
And you in US, you get a lot of support in terms of capital and all, but are any problems which you or people are also facing over there in the US?
Well, funding is always a problem. You know, regardless of how much grant money they say is out there, it's always an issue. There's never enough, and a lot of people don't know what's available to them. So the bigger problem is being aware of funding and opportunities for funding. So if there's ever a platform or opportunity to say that there's money out there for women startups or for business in general, it needs to be known, because that's something that people suffer from immensely, money.
And after coming from US, what have you learned from India and India-based startups? Did you have any discussions with them?
I have learned that people here are very ambitious. So I think that that's awesome. There's a lot of, how can I say, kindred spirits when it comes down to starting business. Like, I feel familiar. I feel that people can relate to where I am as well as me relating to where they are. So it's amazing to come from all the way in the United States and find people who I can relate to.
All right, thank you for talking to us. Here we're speaking to one of the delegates, and she's quite excited about being in India. Over back to you in the studio.
Sumit, thank you for joining us, and of course the guest with you with all those enormous details, and of course we'll keep tracking that particular development at the Global Entrepreneurship Summit today as it continues till tomorrow.